everybody, and welcome to Time Out. Tom Benjamin is not here this week. He's vacationing somewhere in Florida, I believe. My name is Tom Ryther. I'll be your guest host for this half hour. Be sure to stick with us. We don't have a good show. We have a great show planned for you tonight. So we're going to start off right now with some scores right away from the Bloomington area. As soon as we get up on the screen, there they are. Baseball. There's Normandale sweeping a doubleheader from Austin, 7-1 and 9-0. There's Wyzetta defeating Kennedy. Moving right along, here we see some softball scores. Jefferson 10, Park Center 7, Hopkins 8, Jefferson 7, and Jefferson and Edina have been rescheduled. They have been rained out, I believe. St. Louis Park versus Kennedy has been canceled due to the bad weather we had this past week. All right, speaking of softball, the girls softball at Jefferson is getting off to a fine start. There we go, we got an interview for you. This is Scott Hansen interviews John Bianchi, the Jefferson girls softball coach, and he wants to ask him how he compares this year's team to last year's team.
Coach, let's compare this year's team to last year's team. How do you expect this year's team to do?
Well, it's easy to compare the two. Last year's team, with the closing of Lincoln, there were a total of 13 letter winners, between the two buildings, so we had a veteran team last year. This year's team, we have 2 letter winners and only 3 players on the team that have ever seen any varsity experience. So there's no question we're a very inexperienced team. Okay. We started off yesterday, though, unbelievably as it might sound. We played a veteran Park Center team that had everyone back, including their 2 pitchers, and we beat them 10-8. So that was, a great effort for us in our first outing. But we're going to have a tough time. There's no question about it.
Okay. What different types of things are you looking for in this year's team that might make this year's season just a little bit better than last year's?
Well, we're hopeful that we're going to get more aggressive base running. That's one thing that we just haven't done very well in the last few years. I guess it's something that obviously you have to have speed to be good base runners, but more than that, you have to have a lot of smarts, intelligence, instincts to know when you can take a chance, when's a good time to do it, know how to challenge certain players from the opposition, and I guess that's one area that we really want to improve in. Another area is making sure that we're making contact with the ball. By that I mean fast pitch is dominated by the pitchers, and most teams have a dominating pitcher, and it isn't like every kid's going to get up there and smack the ball 260 feet. It's like if we can hit the ball on the ground and force the other team to make a play on us, we're in good shape. Last year's team, for example, in one game, we had 11 pop-up outs. And that doesn't advance any runners, and it doesn't force people to make very many tough plays then. So I guess, if there's a total of 21 outs in a ball game, we want to make the opposition field as many possible balls as we can, and then I think we got a chance.
Okay. As a coach, who do you feel is going to be your toughest competition this season?
Well, Burnsville and Minnetonka have got just about everybody back. They had outstanding clubs last year, and both teams have their starting pitchers back. They're going to be outstanding ball clubs. Just looking at some scores yesterday, I see that Minnetonka beat Kennedy 8-zip and Burnsville beat St. Louis Park 9-1. And it tells you something about their pitching and their power. So they're outstanding clubs. I think the rest of the teams are going to be fighting it out then for the rest of the spots.
I'd like to thank you for being our guest this afternoon on this portion of Time Out. And we'd also like to wish your team the best of luck this season. Thanks a lot. Now back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Scott. It's a very good interview. We know Coach John Bianchi will coach another fine season. All right, we got some more scores for you. There you can see them. Boys track. Kennedy defeating Richfield 111-31, and they're losing to Minnetonka by a score of 90-55. And there we see almost saw it, the Husky Classic. There we go. Trying to get it to you, but we'll get it to you maybe a little bit later on. Okay, we're going to go move on to girls golf. Kennedy versus Armstrong has been canceled again due to that bad weather we had last week. Okay, we're going to go right into an interview with it's a bike interview of Dale Sedgwick, a Kennedy High School student who's maybe on his way to the Junior World Olympic Trials down in Colorado Springs. So we'll now go to KTAV's Andy Lipstein for a quick interview with him and Dale.
Well, I got into a December camp through a resume, which had my race results of last year. And they chose 100 juniors to come to the December camp. And through the December camp, they chose 40 to come back to April through tests and stuff like that.
So, what kind of things will you be doing at the camp?
Well, I'll be riding outdoors mainly, do a few races, and a lot of training. Most of the races will be time trials. Those are races against the clock, see how fast you are.
Oh, so what kind of things do you have to bring with you?
Well, I'll bring my bike and all the equipment, and that's about it, really.
So when did you start racing?
Well, I began about 3 years ago. I started out not racing too much and gradually got into it more and more.
So what else do you do to keep in shape?
Well, I ride my bike every day from about March till November. Then I start running, and when snow falls, I start cross-country skiing and weight training till I can get outside again.
Okay. So this was Andy Lipstein talking with Dale Sedgwick, and good luck at the Olympic Training Center.
Okay, we certainly do wish Dale the best of luck as he enters that long road to the Junior Olympics. Now we go to an interview, a little bit later interview with Tom Benneman when he was not on vacation. This was done during the winter as he interviews Normandale women's basketball coach Julie David, along with Beth Common and biofeedback instructor Lily Jeffrey Smith. We're going to find out what that's all about. Tom?
If you read the paper today, we found an article today in the local Bloomington Sun. It seems that the mind games and biofeedback and sports psychology is really getting a lot of publicity recently. We mentioned earlier in the show, if you were watching the Olympics, that biofeedback was mentioned in help training our biathlon team. And tonight we're going to be talking about one team here in the area that's been using biofeedback all year, and it certainly appears to have paid off, and that's with the Normandale Community College women's team. And we'd like to talk to our guests this evening and introduce them to you. Some of them have been here on our...
Well, thank you, Tom, for that sort of recent interview. That biofeedback did work. The Lady Lions ended up taking 4th place in the state tournament, a tournament where they were not even supposed to be in. All right, we got the results from that Husky Classic. We can just get them on the screen right here. There we go, the Husky Classic at St. Cloud State. Big tournament, boys track, Kennedy, first place in the 400-meter relay, first place in the 3,200 meters, also second place in the triple jump, and one thing that you do not see up there is they took second place in the pole vault also. And Jefferson also placed very good. They took first place in the 2-mile relay. All right, we have a special guest, kind of. He's coming on over the phone. It's the head coach of the Kennedy boys track team, Mike McKay. Mike, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about this tournament? You had a very good placing, maybe some of the individuals of who took those 2 first place and 2 second place?
Well, we had John Lehman ran the 3,200 meters and ran a very good time. He was under 10 minutes. He ran a 9:52 2-mile, which is an excellent time indoors. Mark Bonjean did very well in the pole vault. He went 12.6, and he was beaten by the defending state champion from Bemidji. We also, again, lucky or whatever, turned in a nice time in the 400-meter relay, which we won.
Mm-hmm. This is a pretty large tournament, as you said before. This is also
18 teams involved in the Husky Classic, and they were from the northern part of Minnesota. There were a couple of metropolitan schools there also.
This is something that you do every year.
Yes, it is.
Sort of warm you up for the season.
Yeah, trying to get going and see what we got. We try to get a lot of kids involved, and that's a good meet to do it.
Yeah. One thing I want to know personally is when does Kennedy track go up against Jefferson track? That's always a very big event.
Yeah, that the intercity meet has been a big meet for many, many years. And again, Jefferson has a very good squad, and I think we do also, and it should be a very interesting competition. And I think that's in about the second week in May when we go head-to-head.
Uh-huh. And the state tournament is when?
State tournament is the first week in June.
Uh-huh. And that takes place a little bit for, since you guys lost Track-O-Rama, that was something that was a little disappointing to the city and everyone.
Oh, that was a big loss. That was a tremendous meet. It was a big meet. There were a lot of kids involved, and it gave us a good 2 tune-up to see how we'd compare with a lot of other people around the state. Now the only other meet that we have comparable in size is the Burnsville Relays.
Well, Mike, we do want to thank you for being our special guest, I guess you can call it.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right, good luck.
Yep.
All right, now we go and we have looks like we have a public service announcement now about the summer school situation. Let's go to that right now.
Bloomington schools are once again offering a selection of summer learning activities. Students can choose from a wide variety of offerings, everything from makeup and enrichment classes like reading and math to business education, music lessons, driver's training, and home economics. Many other special opportunities exist, such as Operation Adventure, special education, Bloomington Summer Musical, and much, much more. Registration materials have been distributed to elementary students. Elementary registration ends April 6th. Junior high students can register with their counselors April 9th through 13th. Senior high school students register with their counselors April 23rd through 27th. Transportation will be provided, so sign up now. Classes like these will fill up fast.
Well, thank you. That was really interesting. Now we got the time of the show, or it's the team of the week. And before that, I want to tell you some results from this team of the week. In the past games, they started off the season down in Ellsworth, Iowa, against Ellsworth Community College, no doubt. They won that doubleheader, so you know it's a baseball team. They won that 9-0 and 11-1. And they went up against Austin. Austin is a very good team. They swept that doubleheader. We don't have any scores yet. I believe you did see them earlier on the scoreboard. When today they were playing Itasca Community College. That's one reason we don't have the team of the week on this week. And they're coming up. If you want to see them, it's coming up this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Invert Hills, and Sunday is Wisconsin Stout. These games are at Normandale Community College at 1 p.m. You should guess it by now. That team of the week is Normandale's baseball team. Very good. The head coach for that is Rob Fornacier. Their team is ranked 9th in the nation right now. They are looking for another repeat to the Junior College World Series, and we sure hope they can get there. All right, do we have enough time to do a little upcoming events? There you go. Oh, got the little horn toot there. All right, here are the upcoming events. Baseball, coming Kennedy games. We go against Fridley, Roseville, Burnsville, Edina, Jefferson, Richfield. You can see we have 4 home games in there. You can write that schedule down. Be sure to come out there. Baseball, Jefferson, they're down in Florida. Dick Mingo has his crew down there warming up for the season. Looking forward to it. 2 home games. That's against St. Louis Park, and the other one's against Kennedy. That Kennedy game, don't miss that. That'll be coming up on April 30th. All games are at 4 p.m. at Jefferson. Go to softball. Monday is Fridley. Wednesday, it'll be against Burnsville. That's a home game. That's on April 25th. Then on Friday, Edina. That's always a very good match. That'll be on the 27th. Then again on Monday, Jefferson. That'll be at Kennedy. You don't want to miss that. And then on May 2nd, Richfield, at Richfield. All these game times are at 4 p.m. And finally, moving along, the Jefferson softball. Coach John Bianchi and his team saw the interview here earlier. Looking forward to a big season. On April 23rd, it'll be Richfield at Jefferson. Then on Wednesday, 25th, at St. Louis Park. 27th, Minnetonka at Jefferson. 30th, at Kennedy. And on May 2nd, it'll be Burnsville at Jefferson, and that game time will be 4 p.m. And the boys track, Kennedy meets April 24th. They'll be running up against Burnsville and St. Louis Park. Then on the 27th, they'll be going up against Shakopee, and that'll be at Shakopee. And Tuesday, the big one, Edina, the Dynasty, that'll be at Kennedy on May 1st. All these meets start at 3 p.m. As for Jefferson boys track, they have 2 of them right there. On the 24th, Minnetonka, and on May 1st, Richfield and St. Louis Park. These meets start at 3:45. And girls track, April 24th, Burnsville and St. Louis Park. On the 28th, the Rochester Mayo Invitational, I would assume. Then on May 1st, against Edina, these meets start at 3:45, except for the Mayo meet starts at 9:30 in the morning. That's a big one. And finally, the last one, this is Jefferson Girls Track. April 24th, Minnetonka. 26th, Holy Angels from Prior Lake. And finally, on May 1st, will be St. Louis Park and Richfield. These meets do start at 3:45. Okay, that's about all we have for time for tonight. My first guest host stint. I hope I did a good job. I hope I didn't goof up too much. Hopefully Tom Benjamin will be happy enough to write a note to my counselor tonight, our instructor at school, since I am missing my class at Normandale tonight to do this. I'm sure he'll be happy to do it. I do want to thank the great staff we had for helping me out a little bit. I do want to thank Mike McKay for doing the phone interview. And that's about it. So good night, everyone. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Timeout Show, Bloomington's #1 sports talk show. Your regular host, Tom Benjamin, is not here right now as he's away on business, so I'll be doing my second guest host stint. My name is Tom Ryther. We've got a great show planned for you tonight. We've got scores, highlights, and films of current activities. Also, we have an interview tonight of the Kennedy's girls synchronized swimming team, which just completed their state meet. Let's do some scores right away. So we have some girls softball. There you can see Jefferson winning over Orono in a very high-scoring game. Burnsville defeated Jefferson then 6-5. Kennedy losing the game right there to Wyzetta, a non-conference game, but doesn't mean that much. And then turning around and winning over Richfield in a conference game, which does mean very much. Moving right along. Boys tennis, Jefferson defeating Orono, almost. As soon as we can get that score back up there, we'll get it to you as soon as we can. There we go. Jefferson, no, we're not going to get it. Maybe we can move on to something else. We'll try to get that score. In the meantime, let's try to go, the score I saw up there. If we can just get it. Almost. Well, anyway, let's try to go to an interview, a baseball interview. This is Jefferson's Matt Brokel. He's going to be interviewing Jefferson Jaguars captains Danny Lee and Scott Wanchura. And this is taped a few days ago, so it'll be up to date and everything. So let's go to that interview right now. Hopefully. Oh, I was having a little bit of a breakdown. Can we go to the interview now? We're going to try to get that interview as soon as we can. In the meantime, see if we can get some scores back up. We're going to go to baseball scores now, it looks like. There we go. Baseball scores, Jefferson defeating Wyzetta 3-1, and then Jefferson turned around and beat Edina. Edina was the defending state champion last year. They beat them 9-4. Jefferson then turned around and beats Burnsville 4-2. Okay, now we're going to go to that interview with Jefferson baseball. Matt Brokel will be interviewing once again Danny Lee and Scott Wanchura. Let's go to that right now.
Today we're here with the captains of the baseball team, as Chris said, and Scott and Dan, and we're going to ask them kind of what's going on this year, this season, and kind of get a report and see what's happening. I think I'll start with you, Dan. I was kind of thinking back here. I recall when the season started, you guys took a trip. Unless I'm mistaken, the whole team did. Didn't you go somewhere?
Yeah, I went down to Florida.
What'd you guys do down there?
Just played ball. That's about it.
Was it just like spring training, just like the Twins and everything?
It was a little spring training, and it's like a little team unity event. You know, get to know each other, become a family down there. Like.
You have a lot of fun?
Yeah, great time.
You go do some extracurricular stuff besides the baseball, or?
Well, Scotty did. I sure did.
Real dedicated there, huh? Well, how have you guys been doing so far this year?
Well, Scott?
Not as good as we'd like to have. We ended up tied for first in the league. And we would have liked to finish alone in first, but we dropped a couple.
What was the final record?
We're 8-3 right now, and we have one more game left. But, you know, I said before, those 3 last, I feel like our team's ability, with our team's ability, we should be undefeated. And we're playing good ball. We're playing good ball now when it counts. We're heading to regionals. So we're looking okay.
Mm-hmm. States ahead then, maybe?
Maybe.
Hope so.
Hopefully.
Yeah. What about as far as the season has gone? You think you guys have been playing well as a team, or have you had some problems with that, or?
We had a couple bad games where, like, we had nobody hitting. I mean, we're pretty much, that's where we're supposed to be good at. We're supposed to be a hitting team, and we had a couple down games where nobody was hitting that well.
Beat ourselves.
Yeah, that's when we lost.
Now, is this a really big part of you guys' activities here at Jefferson, or is baseball your futures, or not really?
Pretty much mine. I'd like to continue mine into college and hopefully go on from there.
Back there, huh?
Yeah, be nice.
Is that a reality, or is that just kind of a dream?
Well, if I play well, could be reality.
If you don't, it's a dream, huh?
Yeah.
So now, you guys have just state tournament left. Is that it? Is that
What do you mean? Well, we have regionals before we hit state.
So it's elimination as you go.
Yes.
So one game and you're out, or is it double elimination?
Double elimination regions. We got seeded number 2, and so you go right into double elim. If you get seeded lower, you have to play through the single elim 1 game, and if you make it through that, then you go in double elim.
So everybody in the state's still in it right now, then?
Yeah.
So when do you get down to the crucial games? How far off is that?
Next Monday we start regions.
Against?
We don't know yet.
Don't know yet?
Don't know yet.
Well, good luck to you guys. Thanks for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
That's it. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, we got some Kennedy baseball scores up on the screen. We didn't miss these before. Let's get them to them now. Baseball scores: Kennedy defeating Richfield 4-2. Then they turn around and beat St. Louis Park 8-1. Buster Roderbach and his troops having a very good year this year. And Minnetonka then lost to Minnetonka 5-3. I believe that's all we have for scores. Okay, one thing about that Jefferson interview, one thing I just found out today, is that Jefferson has defeated Richfield today 10-3 and captured the Lake South Conference title. So congratulations to the Jefferson baseball team, Coach Ding Mingo and his whole crew. Now we're going to go to an interview of another team that's doing very well this year, Normandale Baseball. Coach Rob Bornaceder is being interviewed by one of the NCC TV staff members. Let's go to that right now.
Season, Gary. Right now, we're 22-1, and 10-0 in our conference, which is the Minnesota Community College Southeast Division. We've had good success with pitching. Pitching has been our strength this season. We have 5 sophomore pitchers that have given us a very strong effort, and 2 freshmen that also have contributed a great deal. Hitting-wise, we've hit 334 as a team to date, which is a very strong average. And defensively, we're fielding at a 948 clip, which means that about 95% of the time we're making the play defensively. So we've had a very strong season, and we're looking forward to a strong finish.
At the start of the season, you were ranked 9th in the nation, and now your rankings drop. I understand your record's at 22-1. Why would that drop?
Well, you have to understand the reason for the national rankings. First of all, the reason we were ranked 9th in the country at the start of the season was because we participated in the Junior College World Series last year, and the next year's rankings are merely an indication of who played in the World Series the year before. And so many of the southern schools play a lot of games before we even get started that they build up a huge record before we even get outside. So consequently, our 0-0 record in April is not very significant in terms of national rankings. However, as we get towards the end of the season, right now, in fact, we've played the bulk of our season so far, we certainly feel we can play with anyone.
How many games do you have left this season?
We've got 2 conference games, Saturday against Rochester, down in Rochester, and we finish up on the 26th of May against, we play Anoka Ramsey from the north side in the first round of the state tournament.
When does the state tournament start?
State tournament is on the 26th. It's a single elimination tournament which is played all in one day. There's going to be 3 ball games, one at 10 o'clock, one at 1 o'clock, and one at 4 o'clock. And we will play the 10 o'clock game against Anoka Ramsey.
How do you expect to come out in that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because in our regional tournament, which was last Friday here at Normandale, we were upset by Anoka Ramsey and were eliminated from contention for the national tournament. And certainly I think we're looking for some sweet revenge, and I fully anticipate our kids will be ready to play.
I understand you have a number of players that have been drafted by the pros.
We've been very fortunate. It doesn't always happen in this type of institution because we are a non-scholarship school athletically, but we have 4 young men in our squad that have been drafted professionally, and we have 3 pitchers. One a sophomore pitcher from a right-hander from St. Paul Cretin High School, Bob Lee. Another one, a right-handed pitcher from St. Paul Johnson named Mike Clarkin. Another pitcher, Mike Trapp, a left-hander from Richfield. And our 4th player that was drafted is our 3rd baseman, Rob Tomerlin, also from Richfield.
I see. You mentioned Trapp and Lee. They have some phenomenal strikeout records, don't they?
Well, I think that what's happened, Gary, is that in our league, our level of play, Bob and Mike have progressed to the point where they're really overmatching some of our opponents. And when any time a pitcher overmatches the opponent, you're going to see a lot of strikeouts.
You know, the team's batting average has dropped from last year. Did you lose a lot of players?
Yeah, we really lost a strong hitting contingent last year, specifically our first-team All-American outfielder, John Beckman, who hit close to 500 for us and also hit a lot of home runs. So he was the big main offensive cog that we've lost since last year.
So your big sticks at the plate are Tomberlin and Henches now?
Tomberlin and Dave Henches from Jordan, a sophomore outfielder, is leading us in home runs and RBIs and is second in the team in hitting.
Okay, so your next game is with Anoka Ramsey, and that is this Saturday?
We play Rochester this Saturday in a conference game, and then we finish up the 26th of May in their state tournament here at Normandale.
Okay, well, good luck in the state tournament.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
Okay, that was a very good interview. The Normandale baseball team now record stands at 24-1. They'll be going into the state tournament. That's coming up within the next few weekends. You know, they'll be the #1 seed. And now we got a very special track and field meet, which was held last Thursday, May 17th. And we got, at the end of this highlights, we'll be showing Greg Frederick. He'll be interviewing the coordinator of this whole event, and that's Ed Cinto. Let's go to that right now. Can we go to that? Okay, let's go to that right now.
I'm here with Ed Cinto, and Ed, you're the coordinator for the special
Adapted Phi-Ed.
Adapted Phi-Ed?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about your job and what you do?
Well, my job is to coordinate the Adapted Phi-Ed program in Bloomington and what it really is physical education for handicapped kids who have problems with coordination or for kids who can't take part in the regular Phi-Ed program. We either provide physical education for them or physical education in addition to what they get in the regular Phi-Ed class. The kids that we had at the meet today were adapted physical education kids, not only in Bloomington, but from Portland Secondary in Richfield also, some of the retarded children over there.
How long has this program been going on?
The Adapted Phy-Ed program is in its 5th year in Bloomington. This is our 2nd year for the track meet. We started last year, and we still have some bugs to work out, as you well know. But the program itself has been in Bloomington now for 5 years.
And do you do this in any of the schools?
Do the track?
I mean, as a teacher.
Oh, I myself, work part-time teaching at Olson Junior High and at Normandale Hills. Yeah, I work with some of the kids. We have full-time Adapted Phy-Ed people. We have 5 full-time Adapted Phy-Ed people that go from building to building, providing service for the children that need Adapted Phy-Ed.
Okay, well, I think you did a very good job today. I enjoyed it.
We appreciate having you people here. I know the kids enjoy it.
Well, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay, that was the 2nd annual handicap track and field meet. Once again, we know that meet will be around a long time. It's a very special event. All right, I believe we have the tennis scores right now. Can we go to those tennis scores? Okay, we can't go to those tennis scores. Let's go to the tennis scores. Okay, there we go. Finally. We'll get to this one. Okay, just trust us. Boys tennis, Jefferson defeating Orono 5-2. And then Jefferson turned around and shut out Prior Lake 4-0. Kennedy then beat Mound 4-1. And then Kennedy beat Wyzetta 6-1. Very good week for boys tennis in Bloomington area. All right, we're going to go to the handicap track. No, not the handicap track and field. We've already done that one. We're going to go to the regular elementary school track and field meet. They have 2 divisions in this setup. They have a red division, a blue division, which means they separate, according to the map on schools right now. The blue division was held last week. Now let's go to the red division elementary track and field meet. Let's go to that right now.
After 24 out of 24 events in the 5th grade, we have our final standings here. In first place with 98.5 points, Northgate. Taking up 2nd place, 95 points, Ridgeview. In 3rd place, 84 points for Washburn. Taking up 4th place with 83 points, Indian Mounds. In 5th place, 78.5 place for Olson. And taking up the final 6th place, 61 points for Oak Grove. Take it away, Greg, for the 6th grade.
After 24 of 24 events, for first place, we have Olson with 140.5 points. For 2nd place, we have Ridgeview with 89 points. For 3rd place, we have Oak Grove with 85 points. For 4th place, we have Washburn with 69 points. For 5th place, we have Northgate with 65 points. And Indian Mounds comes up the rear with 55.5 points.
Well, can you believe it? We made it to that one. Now we got a few more scores for you while we got the chance. Let's go to boys golf. We get that on the screen right there. There we go. Kennedy defeating Jefferson by 16 strokes. The lower score wins in the golf game, of course. Then Burnsville turned around and defeated Jefferson 197 to 209 strokes. And we have a few more girls golf. The Lake Conference Tournament. Some very good showings this year for the Bloomington schools. Bloomington Jefferson took 4th place, and Kennedy right behind him at 5th place. And we get a little more. We're going to come back to the studio. There we go. We're making it. Don't trust us. We'll make it. Okay, speaking of golf, we do have a very special Chalk Talk feature this week. Kennedy golf coach Myron Spees will be doing a little bit of a few lessons along with his captain, Paul Spees. Let's see if we can go to that right now. Self-explanatory.
What we'd like to do today is try to show you some absolutes in the game of the golf, in the swing of the golf, and not too many things are absolute, including the swing pattern. But I've asked Paul Spees, our golf captain, if he'd help me assist in this. One of the things we're going to talk about of the 5 would be speed. The faster you swing the club, the faster the club is going to hit the ball, and the further the ball is going to go. The angle of the attack, we're going to show you that. We're going to show you the center face hits. We're going to try to work on the path a little bit, and then the angle of the club as it goes into the ball. So the first thing we're going to work on is the speed. Paul is going to demonstrate basically what we're going to try to do in this. The speed Go ahead, Paul. Why don't you try your little whoosh drill here, and we'll try to listen for the amount of dissipation of the swing. The faster he gets it to go down at the bottom, the stronger the hit's going to be. If he dissipates it too early, if the hit comes back here someplace, he dissipates it, it's not going to go as far. If he dissipates it after the impact zone, it's not going to go very far as well. So what he wants to do is work that noise down and close as he can to this area in here where he's going to actually be contacting the ball. Okay, the next one is the angle of attack. The angle of attack, if he pulls it back very abruptly and upward, it's going to go straight up, and it's probably going to come right straight down, and the ball will pop right up. So he'll try to level it out so that it's somewhat like an airplane landing and a nice little trajectory there. With an iron and every other club except the driver, it's a slight descending blow. With a driver, it may be a level shot or a little bit of an ascend shot, like that. That basically is the angle of attack. Now the center face hits. Paul, you want to demonstrate what we mean by that? If he takes the club grip in his
Yeah, I don't know, out of all the sports I play, I like it the best because I don't know, I feel that you put a lot into it, and when you're done, you know, you feel a lot like you got a lot out of it too. It's a lot more individual too. It's a lot harder than any other sport because it's a lot. I was going to
try to demonstrate here again the path. Maybe we can just do it straight ahead here, huh? If he takes a path that goes, go ahead, Paul, from way outside to way inside, like that, he's going to probably make the ball come off in this direction. If he takes it from outside to outside, he's going to impart a clockwise spin on the ball, and you'll end up with some type of a slice in most instances. Now, if he goes from inside to inside, way inside to way inside, he's going to make a counterclockwise spin come on the ball, and it's likely going to result in a hook shot. So what Paul will try to do is drive that path, the club down the path towards the target as long as he can. He'll hold it right on the target line if he can. The longer you hold that on, the better chance you're going to have for a good center phase hit. Now your club will normally go inside to inside somewhat because the anatomy of the body, the arms will make you bend when you take it back so far and bend when you take it so far forward. Okay, now if the path is straight, correct, but if the angle of the club is off when it comes through that path, in other words, it is bent to the side, twisted to the side like this or like this, then you're going to have mishit as well. So even though the path is correct coming through, he may have that thing open or closed. If he has it way open like that, it'll likely result in a push shot or a slice. If he has it roll over, it's going to result in a hook of some type. Now, the more you can hit these more correctly, or at least try for the perfection part of it, the better you're going to enjoy the game of golf, and the better hits you're going to have, and the result you're going to have a lot more fun on the golf course.
Okay, we're back in the studios right now. This has been one long night, but it's been a fun one, as a matter of fact. Okay, we're going to do a special interview right now with the members of two captains, members of the girls' synchronized swim team over at Kennedy. Let's introduce them right down the line. This is Carrie Kopnick, one of the captains, I believe. And right the next one down the line, the middle one, middle of your screen, is Mona Ebron. Then the coach right there, Marge Ellert. Welcome to the show. All right, this has been one long night, so it's a joy to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about synchronized swimming a little bit? Coach, we'll start out with you.
Well, the second half of our season have been routine meets. We were on a little earlier in the year when we were doing our figure meets, and we did very well in our routine meets. We won 4 out of the 5, and the routine meets are set up with 4 divisions. There's a solo, duet, trio, and a team. And the different Lake Conference schools were pretty good. We had some pretty tough competition this year, but maybe Moni like to talk a little more about those.
Our toughest
Lake South Conference have all their own teams, or all the schools?
Not all schools have a synchronized swimming team, but there's about 5 that we go against during our regular season.
Is this run just like a regular standings and the whole bit? I mean, like who captured the Lake South?
St. Louis Park got first and we got second.
All right, so Carrie, let's get you involved right now. You just got done with the state tournament.
We did very, very well in the state tournament this year. We did the best that we've ever done. We placed 4th. Our 2 teams, our 1-7 division and our 1-6 division team, both placed 2nd in their own divisions, and Mona's trio placed and my duet placed, and we had just a lot of really good outcome.
You say you were in the duet. Now, how do you? What kind of a program do you have for that? I mean, a system. You might want to explain that. What kind of a program? When you go through, like, what do you call them? Programs?
Routines.
Routines.
We have you have one piece of music. It has to be under 4 minutes long, and you choreograph it with, enough time above water, enough difficult things so that you're judged with enough difficulty, things that look really interesting, so it catches the audience's and the judge's attention. And you need to be able to do the things well, and you have to be poised while you're doing them, and make it look like it's easy.
Right.
Or
What
at least
about,
try to.
Yeah, Coach, how you started this in mid-March or early March?
Yeah, we started our season first part of March, and the first half of our season we work on the basic figures, and our figure meets it's a similar format to like a diving. The girls have required figures they need to do, and then optionals. And then the second half of the season they put those.
There's us.
Oh.
Can you explain what's going on here?
Okay,
this is our duet.
Yeah, this is Carrie Kopnick and Sandy Essen's duet. I was talking about figures. During the routines, they take the different figures and they put them together in very creative ways, and then they're called hybrids. They're just, every routine has just very distinctive hybrids in them. Not only are the figures important, that's 40% of their score, but the actual swimming, how fast they're moving, how smoothly they're moving, how much of their body's above the water. And here they're doing a lift. Carrie was underwater lifting Sandy.
How much training does this require to actually perfect these moves?
Well, it requires a lot, because it requires not only the swimming skills. The girls have to be good swimmers and strong swimmers, but they also need to have gymnastic type abilities, the splits and the stretches and all of that type. And it's very difficult to get upside down underwater with water in your ears and then try to turn 180 degrees. It looks very simple watching it, but when you get underwater and you're just all switched around, it's a totally different medium than most people are used to working in.
You have to have a lot of special athletic ability. I know if an average person like myself tried it, they have to scrape me off the bottom of the pool. So let's see. How did you get started in this, Mona?
Well, I started when I was in 9th grade, and I've always really liked to swim. And I just thought, and I wasn't really into competitive swimming, and it just really interested me, so I joined, and I'm so glad I did.
When you say you joined up, how did you get find programs?
Well, at school, I saw a sign, and I heard about it, and then they've had the team for many years now, but I joined when I was in 9th grade. We also have junior high people on our team, too.
Yeah.
They can start in 7th grade if they'd like to. So
Yeah.
that kind of helps, because then by the time they get to high school, they're really experienced.
Yeah. Well, you're in 12th grade now? So you've been doing it for quite a few years. Yeah. Yeah. Carrie, how did you get started in it?
I was in 8th grade when I started, and I just kind of started. My swimming teacher in Phi-Ed said, well, why don't you come out for this since you like swimming so much? I said, no, I don't want to. But then I wound up coming out for the team, and I just loved it right away. And I've stayed with it for 4 years now.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little about your teammates a little bit? Coach, I'll let you have the honors for that one.
Well, so I'll start. There's 24, is it 24 swimmers?
25.
And 25 swimmers. And We have a fairly spread out ratio. We don't have like all seniors or all sophomores. So we're losing, several good swimmers this year due to graduation, but we have a lot of depth. And as Mona was saying, we have the junior high girls that come out for the sport. They have to really, really want to, because those first couple years they work on figures and they don't get to be in the routines as often. And so we've got a lot of good junior high girls coming up, so they'll be coming up in the years to come.
Yeah, and plus the sport is growing at just a really fast rate. And this is the first year, I believe, in the Los Angeles Olympics. It will be a part of it, so it'll be very nice. Start with Mona. Okay, a person like me wanted to get started. Well, not me. This is only a girl sport right now.
No,
Hopefully, men someday.
Oh, it's not just a girl sport.
Guys on
Oh yeah.
Almost, not quite.
Can you tell us, like, how would I get started in it if I were interested in it?
Well, we start about the beginning of March, so basically anybody can just come to the first meeting and get started just like any other sport.
Yeah.
Especially if you like to swim, if you're a good swimmer, that helps a lot.
Yeah. So Carrie, I'd probably just go to the pool and do a few exercises. You need a lot of coaching.
You need a lot of coaching. You need a lot of support too. You could just call, I suppose, Kennedy, for anyone that would want to join.
Okay, this was the Kennedy girls synchronized swimming team. I'm getting it. It's been a long night. You guys captured 4th place in the state tournament, and for that reason, you have been selected the Time Out's Team of the Week. I suppose a little presentation, I'll get a little certificate in a little bit. A very high honor. Is there anything you want to add, Coach?
No, I think the girls did a real good job this year. They worked very, very hard, and it's an individual sport until the end of the year, and everybody hung in there, and by the end of the year, it was just a real enthusiastic team. We're real proud of them.
Mona, what about next year? What are your plans?
Well, I'm going to be in college next year, but I think the team will be really good.
What school are you going to go to?
Gustavus.
You going to participate? Do they have programs?
They don't. They used to have a club, but they don't right now. Maybe I'll get one started or something.
Well, I'm sure you will. Carrie?
I'm a junior, so I'll be swimming next year.
You're a captain this year, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
You're a captain, so you got what kind of a team, very good team next year?
It looks good. We have a lot of depth and just a lot of dedication. The girls are just wonderful.
Okay. We do, I believe that's all we have time for tonight. We can just do a little bit of a wrap up of the show. We've had a very good show tonight. So that's about all I can say. It's a good night, everyone.
Okay, we've got to wrap it up here in another minute. Just one quick comment. The meet you're talking about on November 10th, that was organized by the coaches.
Yes, this is the coaches' meet.
I'm the site manager, and Mr. Daniels, who's our head coach, is the floor manager. Mr. Heckrow is doing the program. Bob Heckrow is at Edina, is kind of the overall director of the thing, and a lot of other coaches. Dan Craig is trying to do some things with publicity. In other words, the coaches resolved that we were going to offer as good a program for the young men in Minnesota that have gymnastics as we possibly could, and there are a lot of people that are doing a lot of work. We're asking for parents to volunteer, or anybody else who's interested to volunteer to help us with scoring and selling tickets and selling program, popcorn, whatever. And I think it's going to be a super state tournament. I think in a lot of ways it's going to be better than the ones we've had in the past. Not that the State High School League didn't do a good job, it's just that we're going to do it a little bit differently. It's going to involve more kids at different levels, and I'm really excited about it. I think the kids are going to like it, and the parents are going to like it, and I hope we get some people out that aren't just parents. I think they'll like it. I mean, it's going to be a good thing.
Just one comment here, too. There's probably 4 or 5 different teams that are going to be scoring high enough to win that tournament. And 2 of those teams, I feel, are Jefferson and Kennedy. We're going to be right in there with the rest of them. And it's going to be bunched up. It's going to be hotly contested. And Bloomington's well represented.
Just another note, at the Edina Invitational, the first one, Invitational September, Jefferson and Kennedy finished 1-2 in that tournament. And gymnastics in Bloomington for men has always been strong. Just we haven't gotten the recognition that some of the other sports have.
Well, if enthusiasm means recognition and a success at the tournament, I think you're already there. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it.
Nice
good luck to you, both in the tournament on the 10th and against your own meet next week.
That'd be a
so
good
thank
one.
you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got right now a little segment done on twin sisters from Kennedy High School. They're tennis players, and they're the first girls ever to qualify for the state tennis tournament. June and Julie Peterson from Kennedy. And we've got an interview done by our Tom Ryther, so we're going to roll that tape.
With the Minnesota State Girls Tennis Tournament coming up this year, one can expect a lot of good tennis players from such traditional tennis schools such as Edina. But this year there will be something new. There will be a girls team from Bloomington Kennedy High School, the identical twin team of Jan and Julie Peterson. Introducing Jan and Julie Peterson, Bloomington Kennedy's first ever entry in the Minnesota State Girls Tennis Tournament. They're also probably the first identical twin sister team to make it to a doubles tournament, which starts this Friday at the Nicollet Tennis Club in Minneapolis. But what makes this story even more special is that the girls are only sophomores. That means we could be hearing from the 2 rising stars in the future. This is Julie in the white sweater. We asked her how she got started in the game of tennis.
We used to kind of play when we were younger, like with the racquetball, rackets and stuff, and then in 7th grade we started playing a lot, being an STP and stuff.
Yeah. About lessons or anything when you were younger?
Well, my whole family's kind of played a lot, and my grandpa and my parents helped us. And
how did they help you?
Well, they just hit with us. And
strategy is a very important element in tennis. How does Julie plan her strategy?
Try to keep the balls deep and try to find the weakness and play hard.
And this is Jan. She is the #1 girls tennis player at Kennedy. Her sister is #2. So one would think that there is a heated rivalry going on when the 2 are on opposite sides of the net.
I don't know, I think she's good. We play a lot, and sometimes she beats me, and sometimes I beat her. But we're about even, though.
When you play your sister, are you out to win the match?
Yeah.
And what's Jan's strategy for winning a match?
Well, it depends on how my opponent is. If I find a weakness, then I would play that. But if they're pretty consistent, then I try to be aggressive and attack the net maybe or something. Or if they're inconsistent, just keep the ball in play and deep.
And here's what head coach Marv Hartung has to say about the dynamic duo.
Well, they've just been great to have on the team. One thing about Jan and Julie, I can put them down on the court and give them a drill to run, and I'll come back 45 minutes later and they're still running that drill, and they're really working at it. They come out to practice, they practice, and it shows up. It shows up on their matches. They're very, very determined, excellent tennis players.
Yeah. This is Hartung's first year as head coach at Kennedy. He said that it's a nice surprise to be heading towards the state tournament.
This is, I think, a real thrill for all of us here at Kennedy. This is the first time that we have any girls in the state high school tournament. Jan and Julie made it in doubles, and it's the first time in a number of years that we have anybody in the tournament from this region other than the Edina teams. And Jan and Julie played the two Edina teams in the regional tournament, beat one of them in 2 sets, and then lost to the #1 team in 3 sets. Jan and Julie won the first set 6-2 and got a little cautious, I believe, in the second 2 sets, but they played very well. They're very competitive, and I look forward to for them to have a very good tournament.
Jan also had something to say about what she's looking for during the state tournament.
We want to win as many as we can. Let's see. We really want to beat that Edina team. We always want to beat Edina because they're so tough.
And you lost to Edina, too, in the regions.
Yep. So that's why we really want to beat them.
One interesting note is that the Twins qualified for the state tournament by taking 2nd place in the regional tournament, losing only to that team from Edina. And if the Peterson team gets to the finals, their opponent will be that same Edina team. So this weekend, if you happen to hear some reports of opponents in the state girls tennis tournament seeing double, both you and I will know that's Jan and Julie Peterson from Bloomington Kennedy High School. Reporting from Kennedy, for Time Out, I'm Tom Ryther.
Thank you very much, Tom. We appreciate that coverage. Good job. It's now
Good evening, I'm Tom Ryther with this sports break. The red-hot Minnesota Twins put their 4-game winning streak on the line tonight as they continue that big series in the Big Apple. Roy Smith, who was just called up from Portland, will get the start against veteran Tommy John. Game time is set for 6:30. Well, yesterday's wins didn't help the Twins much in their quest to catch Oakland in the standings. The A's beat Seattle last night 4-1 and are hosting the Mariners this afternoon. There you see deadlocked at 4 in the 6th inning. Terry Steinbach, 2 RBIs in that game so far. Kansas City bombed Toronto, and Steve Balboni home run number 16 in that game. Well, rain strung out yesterday's fight for first in the East between Boston and Detroit until 2:30 in the morning. The Tigers eventually sweeping both games of the doubleheader and taking a 3-game lead in the division. But the two teams met again this afternoon at Tiger Stadium. In the 6th inning, Matt Noakes takes advantage of the short porch in right field with this shot to the upper deck. Tigers up 4-0. The Red Sox put themselves right back in the game as Todd Benzinger goes deep with this 2-run shot. But in the end, it wasn't enough as Doyle Alexander kept Joe Morgan and his Red Sox in check. The final from Tiger Stadium, 4-2 as we check the scoreboard. The Tigers are now 4 games up on the Red Sox. In the National League, Philadelphia behind the Cubs 5-2 in the 6th inning, and Montreal defeating the St. Louis Cardinals 5-4 in that game. The Expos did most of the damage in the 1st inning. Tim Raines flies to right field. Vince Coleman says, "What's going on?" Finds the ball. Nice throw all the way to the plate. Little too late. Expos up 1-0. Still in the 1st inning, Tom Foley triples down the right field line. 2 more runs score as Tom Bernansky tries to find the ball. No use. The Expos went on to defeat the Cards by a score of 5-4. Well, Coon Rapids gymnast Rhonda Fain has made the U.S. Olympic team as an alternate and is headed to Seoul, Korea. It all came down to the floor exercise this afternoon at the trials in Salt Lake City. Fain needed a 9.65 to earn her spot and scored a 9.67. Earlier in the day, she hit a perfect 10 on the vault. So congratulations again to Rhonda Fain of Coon Rapids, headed to Seoul as an alternate to the women's gymnastic team. Well, just over 24 hours from now, the Minnesota Vikings make their preseason debut as they entertain the New Orleans Saints at the Dome. The Vikings are a 1.5 favorite to beat the Saints in tomorrow night's opener. In some other notes, Boris Becker has advanced to tomorrow's finals of the U.S. Hardcore Championships. He'll face either John McEnroe or Robert Seguso. And finally, the U.S. Women's Amateur Golf Tournament begins Monday at Mendicati Golf Course in Minneapolis. This has been Sports Break. I'm Tom Ryther. Have a good night. We have a news break. Veterans Park in Cold Spring was the site of a dedication last night. the Central Minnesota chapter of American Ex-Prisoners of War dedicated a monument to all former American POWs. The marker was donated by the Cold Spring Granite Company and received the support of the VFW and the American Legion. Pernina Burke is the chaplain of the Central Minnesota chapter of ex-POWs and the widow of Edward J. Burke, a POW during World War II. To her, this marker has special meaning.
It means that somebody is going to remember after I'm gone. And, you know, it's very idealistic, but wouldn't it be great if someday my great-great-grandkids would say, what was war?
Good evening, I'm Tom Ryther with this TV Heaven News Break. Veterans of the Korean War came home 35 years ago, but it wasn't until last night that they had a homecoming. Approximately 200 people attended the ceremony at the St. Cloud VA Hospital. One of them was Richard Oley. He fought in both World War II and Korea, and he believes the Korean veterans have been forgotten.
It's a forgotten war. A lot of people are saying, hey, we didn't realize this, and how many people were lost over there, and how many people fought over there, how many people died over there.
8,000 of those who died over there are still unaccounted for, and hopes of seeing them return to the U.S. are dim, despite the recent progress made with once silent Vietnam officials.
It's been going on for 35 years, and what has happened? Nothing. I hope it does.
A culture familiar to those who fought in Korea was also represented. Good evening, I'm Tom Ryther with this TV Heaven News Break. It's no secret this summer's drought has severely harmed the nation's corn crop and financially drained many of the state's farmers, but it also has made life tough for landscapers and nurseries. Bergen Nursery in St. Cloud has seen both its wholesale and retail business drop. Trying to keep their trees and shrubs alive in the 100-degree heat has been one of their biggest problems.
The root system can't keep up with the atmospheric conditions. The vaporization and stuff just totally, they brown up overnight. Apple trees have been a big factor.
Keeping trees and shrubs watered hasn't been a concern for landscaper Roger Free because his contracts specify watering them is up to the customer. But he says the number of customers is down.
I would say after about mid-June, the phone just kind of stopped ringing. The demand wasn't there anymore. People were not interested in really doing any amount of landscaping.
This has been one of his largest projects this summer, but it doesn't call for much greenery, which has been pretty common this summer. So he's had a large number of potted shrubs sitting at the office, which has resulted in a $200 to $300 loss.
Couldn't keep up. They'd die in one day's time when it was 100 degrees out. You could water them in the morning, come back in the evening, they were dead.
In addition to losing trees, he's also lost at least half of his mowing and pruning business. Other landscapers in town tell the same story, only the amount of the loss varies. Free says he feels lucky, though, because he hasn't had to lay off anyone.